right, so this is your Google Basics training and resources. Today you are with me for Google Slides. And for those of you that don't know me, and that might be all of you because I'm still fairly new to the district, my name is Ariana Fluwelling, but you can call me Ari, or some of you may know me from Twitter as EdTech Ari. And I am a staff development specialist with innovation and learner engagement. My emphasis is K-12 technology integration, but my sub-emphasis within the emphasis is really secondary technology integration. My background is high school English. I taught 9th through 12th grade English at any point in time in my career. And it was so fun for me. I got to pilot Haiku and Google Apps back when it was still really new. So it's exciting to see it get into more and more classrooms. And besides my teaching experience, I also hold a master's in educational technology from Boise State University. So that's just a little bit about me. And just so you know, today you got to this class by clicking on a bit.ly. But if you're ever in your Haiku portal, just normally, if you look under the word My Portal, there's a tab that says Classes, and there's also a tab that says Extras. This is something new that we just enabled because we heard a lot of people saying there's too many classes on my normal classes page. Where is my content? I don't need this PD content here. So what we're trying to do is move all of your PD Haiku classes to the Extras tab. So when you click on Extras, you'll see I have this Adams Technology course, and I also have this Google Basics course. So the Google Basics course will be there for all of you under that Extras tab. So that way you can come back to this later. And if you can't go to the next Google face-to-face training, we're posting all of the recordings of the webinars in this Google Basics page. So you'll have access to all of the resources all of the time. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and head over to our Google Slides page. If you want to follow along. Oops, I clicked on the Add Page button. No, Haiku, not right now. There we go. And I'll just make this full screen. So we'll skip the sign in because you guys already did that. And yes, this is Google Slides. So our main objectives for today are for you to be able to feel comfortable with creating presentations with Google Slides. And within those presentations, inserting images, videos, shapes, being able to change the theme and add animations and transitions if you wish, and then of course the obvious, the lovely sharing and collaborating with others. If you get lost in this presentation or if you come back to this later and you need review about a specific piece of content, you can click on the links of this slideshow and it will take you to that specific section. So that way you don't have to scroll and scroll and scroll. And then say you clicked on the wrong link, you can click go back to table of contents and then it will return you there. And this is the same for the Google Docs slideshow as well. So just real quick, a review of Google Drive. To get to Google Drive, of course, you can click on the gray apps square, but sometimes it's just easier if you open a new tab and click on drive.google.com. This is especially true if you don't currently have any other Google tabs open. And then it will ask you to log in, first with your email and then with your password. Remember, this is RUSD Learns. And then this is our new menu. So you use the new button to create new things. So today we'll use that to create a new slide. Then on the next option is My Drive. And I like to think of this as a flash drive in the cloud. It is a place for me to store things. And since it is a flash drive in the cloud, I can store anything I want here. I can store pictures, videos, and I can store Word docs if I want, if it's something super important, and I can store PDFs. And what's great is since we are in the EDU environment, you have unlimited storage. So you can store all of the things. Next is Shared With Me. So these are items that other people have shared with you. Google Photos, if you choose to enable this for your account, you can have your smartphone automatically back up your photos to this account. I wouldn't because your smartphone is personal and this is work. But if you choose to, you can. And don't worry, that is not enabled unless you enable it. Next is recent, so these are things you've recently opened. And starred, it's like favorites or bookmarks. And then, of course, the trash can is the trash can. So we're going to go ahead and start with creating a slides presentation. So we're going to go ahead and just for reference, the first option you have on the new menu is to create a folder. The second option you have is to upload things that currently exist, including existing PowerPoints. But the last one is the yellow Create New Google Slides. which is similar to PowerPoint. So I'm gonna move my presentation over here. If it pays attention to me. There you go, good job. And I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna kind of have this split screen thing. So over here in my Google Drive, I'm gonna click my new button, and then I'm gonna go ahead and click on Google Slides, and it'll open a new Google Slides presentation. So go ahead and follow along with me, and we'll do this together. Yes, please. And you don't have to split your screen. You can just open a new tab. I will keep the presentation up on the big TV for you if you need it to refer to. Correct. To Google Drive. So there's two ways you can do it. So let's just do the open a new tab and then .com. And since you are logged into Haiku, you'll already be logged into Google Drive. And there's a big G. Oh, that's true too. The big G within Haiku, you can click that together. Awesome. Okay.
So I don't see anything here that says new folders or anything like the one you have.
Oh, because you have to click the red new button first.
All right.
And then it'll pop up. And then now the last one is Google Slides, and that's where we want to go.
So why did they stick it under new? I mean, that's kind of not very obvious.
I guess their thought process is thinking, I want to create something new, so I'm going to click the big button that says new. I think that's what they were thinking.
I would have labeled it start a new project.
It used to be create.
Yeah.
But then they changed it to new. I don't know what Google's thought process was on that, but that's what they decided. All right. So on the right-hand side, it automatically pops open this box with themes. So you can scroll through, and there's actually quite a few different colored ones. And you could pick whichever theme you want. I'm going to stick with the simple light for demo purposes, but you can click on any one of these. And these are themes that are already pre-made for you. And if you don't like any of these themes, back in the Haiku class, there's a link to a place called Slide Carnival, and they have a ton of themes. And I personally love that website because they're all named after, or most of them are named after Shakespeare characters.
And where do you find them?
Slide Carnival.
Yeah. Is it straight up?
.com, I think.
Oh, you just go to Slide and then you import it?
They give you instructions on how to do it for each thing. So I just stuck with my simple light. And just so you know, I will be showing you most of these things today. But if you ever are forgetful about what the different icons are in this toolbar on Google Slides, there's a graphic that explains what every icon is in that slideshow back in Haiku that you can use for reference. And when in doubt, if you're like, wait, how do I do this? Where is that? The insert menu and the slide menu is pretty much where all the cool things you want to do to your slideshow live. So if you can't remember everything, when in doubt, check the slide menu or the insert menu. And before I get much further, I almost forgot my cardinal rule of working in Google Docs and Google Drive. Name stuff. Because for those of us that are used to working in the Microsoft world, if you have an untitled document, Word will automatically say, Untitled Document 1, Untitled Document 2, Untitled Document a billion. Google does not do that. Google pays attention to the timestamp, so they're like, oh, well, this is Untitled Document from February, and this is Untitled Document from January, so they're obviously different. So that's why. Always important, name your presentation. So I'm just going to call this Test Presentation. And you can name it whatever you'd like. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is on your slides, depending on what type of slides you have, it's automatically going to give you text boxes. But if I only have 2 text boxes and say I need a third, where do I go to add that text box? So within the toolbar, up at the top, there's the letter T inside of the box. And as you notice, every time I move my mouse above an icon, before I click it, it tells me what that icon does. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and click on text box. And then it gives me this little cross, and then it gives me the ability to make a box. So I can make the box whatever shape I want. So I'll go ahead and make it that little oblong. And once I've made my shape, I can go ahead and type in it. What's also nice about text boxes is when,
Format it, you can center it and stuff.
yes, you can. So when you have a text box and it's clicked, up along the top of your toolbar, you'll start to see the options like font and font size. And right now, my window is kind of small, so I have the word more. But when I click on the word more, it's going to give me the rest of my text options, such as bullets, indenting, justification, line spacing, all of that good stuff. So let me, okay. So it's actually not under format, so go ahead and, yeah. Okay. Oh, we clicked on the big box. So right now that's a different text box, but
This is all bad.
it's okay.
Maybe the back arrow.
You can, yeah, the back arrow would be to undo, or to Control Z, either way. So now that you're in this box, go ahead and actually let's click this X since you've chosen a theme, and that'll make your toolbar easier to see. Perfect. So now that you have your entire toolbar, or actually almost your entire toolbar, go ahead and click on More, and then now your justification is right in there.
Here's the center.
Align, it's under Align. So then now you can click on, yeah, and you can click on whichever spacing you want. And the center one is just the one where the text kind of looks like a vase.
Interesting.
What's also nice about text boxes, if I need to make this something super important that I want my students to pay attention to, when my text box is selected, I can click on the paint can and I can fill the box with color. I can also click on the line weight, which is that little icon that has a bunch of lines with a bunch of different sizes. And now I'm going to make the line weights 8. So now my box has an actual box around it. And I can even change what I want my box to look like. So some people are like, how do I make tickets? I want to make tickets for a theater performance. You can use text boxes to kind of make that happen. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of some of the text so I have more room to work. So that's my text box. Next thing I'm going to show you guys how to do is how to insert an image. And there's a ton of different ways you can insert images with Google Slides. And of course, if I wanted to insert an image, I could go to the Insert menu and then click on Image. But I'm all about saving time. So directly next to my text box icon, there's a picture of the mountains, a little tiny picture of the mountains. And when I hover on that, it says Image. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my picture of the mountains, and it's going to open my image menu. So the first option I have for images is I can upload images. So any image you have on a flash drive, you have on your hard drive, you can upload from your computer. Next, if you have a webcam enabled, you could take a snapshot from a webcam. If you have a URL or a link to an image, you can copy and paste that link here. If you have any albums associated with you on Google+, you can bring in photos from there as well. If you have any images saved on your Google Drive, such as, let's see, I have images in here. So I could bring all these different images in. But the most common thing that people use to search or to insert images on Google Slides is the search function. So when you click on search, you have 3 options. You can do a Google search, you can do a search of photos that have been taken by Time Life, or you can do a search of stock images, which is Google's version of clip art. What's nice about the images that you find in this search function is they are all covered under the free for commercial reuse with modification license under Creative Commons. So now that students have the ability to post things to the internet, we have to be a bit more careful about what images they're using, because we would hate for our students to get in trouble for copyright fraud. So that's why I personally like having disability because I know that the images I find here are going to be images that are usable by my students. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick search for a corgi because I really want this kind of dog. I just have to convince my husband to let me have him.
I have one.
See, aren't they adorable? I want one.
You can have mine.
Uh-oh. Maybe I don't want that one.
No, I do. I love them.
So I type in the word corgi and then it gives me all of these different images. And to pick one, I just click on him. He's selected in blue, and now I'm going to click the blue select button. And then I'll get a beautiful picture of a puppy. Yay! He's so cute. So that's how you insert an image. What's nice about being able to use Google Images or using Google Slides for images is when you click on this picture of the corgi, I love corgis. So since I love corgis, I'm going to use my crop feature, which is this really ugly symbol, but it's kind of the universal symbol for crop. If your students ever get to use Photoshop, this is the symbol they'll see. But when next to the crop icon is a little down arrow. Whenever you see a little down arrow in Google, there's goodies. So in this case, when I click the down arrow, I have the ability to pick shapes for my cropping. And one of those shapes is a heart. So I have now taken my picture of a corgi and I put him in a heart because I love him.
Put it again.
Yeah. So you click on your image, you click on the down arrow next to the shape, next to the crop icon, and then you could pick any different number of shapes. And you know what? If I'm talking about something and it doesn't show up on your screen, the first thing to always check is if I'm talking about cropping, for example. Right now, on my toolbar, I don't see the crop icon because I don't have an image selected. But as soon as I click on the corgi, the crop icon appears. Google is trying to help us by only showing us things that we need when we need them, but sometimes it's aggravating because you're like, where is it, Google? And then you're like, oh, wait, I have to click on something first. And don't worry, I make that mistake all the time. So once I have my image selected, I'm going to click on Image Options, and it'll open a toolbar on the right-hand side. The first thing I can do is I can recolor my image. So think of these as really lame Instagram colors. They're not as cool, but they recolor your image. So I'll make him teal. He actually looks kind of cute teal. Then I have the ability to make my image more transparent, or I can make it brighter or darker, and I can change the contrast. And if I hate all of that, I can just click the reset button at the end. Oh,
Image options.
under image options. So if you click on the image, to the right of the crop icon, it should say image options. And if you don't see it, it's because your screen is zoomed in a lot, which is fine because I do that all the time too. And you may need to click more to be able to see image options. I know that sometimes happens.
How do you undo it again?
You can hit the back arrow next to the printer icon, or on your keyboard, you can hit Control Z.
Oh, that's okay. I'll never remember that.
All right, so I'm going to move my corgi out of the way because now we're going to talk about inserting videos. I love this. I used to hate with a burning passion PowerPoint and videos because it would say, oh, insert the video, but then you present the PowerPoint and then you click on the video and it wouldn't want to play, or if you linked to the video and then you had to go to YouTube and then sometimes the links wouldn't work and it would just be a hot mess. I could never get it to work in a way that I liked. So if we click on our insert menu and then click on video, which is symbolized by the clapper, we have two options. We can run a YouTube search, or if we have the link to a YouTube video, we can put it in. This only works for YouTube videos. So if the video is on Vimeo or is on some other provider, it's not going to work. So only for YouTube, unfortunately. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a quick YouTube search. So I searched for the John Green TED Talk. What's nice is when you're searching for videos, if you want to make sure this is the video you are looking for, you can click on the play icon, and then it'll open it a little bit bigger and actually give you the ability to watch the video. So that way you don't have to bop back and forth between YouTube and here.
Do the filters in the YouTube video account apply
Yes, because it's all within our Google Apps for Education domain.
So it's not gonna put in something that's horrifying.
It should.
If you have that filter on.
If you are, so it shouldn't put on anything horrifying. My big suggestion is always watch the YouTube video from beginning to end first to make sure you know. And then my other pro tip about YouTube videos is don't let the video play out until the very end. Always hit pause before it gets to the very end, because sometimes the way people post videos, you know how at the end of YouTube it shows you like that 6x6 grid of other things you might be interested in, and sometimes the thing in the 6x6 grid you're like, oh my lord. If you hit pause before the 6x6 grid comes up, it won't come up. It's also, that's one of the reasons why I like putting the videos in slides, is because once I'm done with the video, I can just advance the slide before it even gets to that point, if I'm doing a full group presentation. So this is the video I want, so it's highlighted in blue, and I'm gonna go ahead and click select, and now the video is in my slideshow. So that way when I'm in present mode, it's very easy for me to play. In fact, all I have to do is click present, and I just do a single click on the video, and there it goes.
Did you hit present?
Present is in the upper right hand corner.
I didn't have to click present, I just clicked on video.
Oh, I was showing how easy it is to play the video when you're in present mode. But it's easy to play the video from
Oh, so
non-present mode
this
too.
is not present mode?
No, this is editor mode. So to get into present mode, you click the present icon in the upper right hand corner of the screen.
So this is creating mode.
Correct. But it's just this one button up in the upper right hand corner of the screen. You just click that, and then
Just to see
it'll.
how it works.
Yeah, you can. And then it takes you full screen. And then now
And how we get back.
hit the escape button on your keyboard. Or you can hit the exit button on the bottom left hand corner.
Say that again with the escape button?
So if you're in present mode,
Yes.
you just hit the escape button to exit present mode. Or if the escape button doesn't work, you hit the exit button on the bottom of that screen. One of the things that I used to like to do with YouTube videos, and one of the things that one of my friends did, she made all of her own YouTube videos for math content, and I know she's phenomenal. I was like, dang girl, woo. But she made all of her own math content videos. So what she'd do is she would make just a single Google slide and put her YouTube video in the upper left-hand corner. And then on the right, actually, I'll just put it in the right. She'd put it in the corner, and then she'd have text with the questions about the video that she wanted her students to answer. So that way, instead of having to have two tabs open or to have the questions on a piece of paper and the video in front of the students, all of the content that the students needed for that particular video was on the same page. So that was one of her tips that I like to steal. Let's see, where are we now?
Is there an undo?
Yes. So the undo button is right up here next to the printer icon. And on a Chromebook, it's going to be Control Z. Same thing with a PC. Mac users in the house, it's a Command Z. All right. So let's see, what else do we have to do? Okay. So the next thing I want to make sure you guys are aware of is your sharing options. And for this, I'll actually just go back to my presentation. So anything you create in Google Drive is automatically private to you, unless you make it in a folder that has been shared with other people. If you make it in a folder that's been shared before, then you will not be able to keep it private. It'll automatically be shared with those other people. But if you just make it in your Drive, like the things you've made today, they're private to you. And if you want to remember, is this private? Is this shared? You can just hover your mouse over the blue share button, and it'll give you a message saying, this is shared with so-and-so. Just like in this picture, it currently says it's only private to me. When you click on this blue share button, which can be found in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you'll be brought to this menu. So the first little icon in the upper right-hand corner is the Get Shareable link. So you can click this, and it'll give you a link that you can share with multiple people, post on the internet, whatever you'd like to do. If you don't want to share it with people like that, and you want to type in their name specifically, you would type in their RUSD email address into this box. after you type someone's RUSD email address into the box the first time, their name will be there forever. So if you were sharing something with me, you would have to type in A. Fluellen, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sorry, Fluelling's a really long name. But the next time you go to share something with me, you start typing in A. Fluelling, and Google would predict that you're trying to send to me, which is convenient. And you have the option to give people editing access, commenting access, or viewing access. So if you want someone to edit something just like you, give them editing access. If you only want them to review your work and leave you comments in the form of little digital sticky notes, commenting access. And if you just want them to look at it, you'd give them viewing access. There you go. So you can always click on the little down arrow. Remember, down arrows show us more things. So you can click on the down arrow, and if you want to get rid of the shareable link, you would click off, and the link would go away. You can also change it to anyone in Riverside with the link can edit, or anyone in Riverside with the link can comment. But if you want this to go out to an even bigger audience, you can click on more. And then you have the opportunity to make it public on the web, public on the web to anyone that has the link, public to Riverside for anyone with the link, or specific people. And then, of course, you always have the ability to choose any of these 5 options and then do view, comment, or edit. You also have some advanced sharing options. So when you're on this screen with the link and where you can type people's names, there's a little word advanced. It's kind of hard to see sometimes, but it'll bring you to this screen, and then you have these options on the bottom of the screen as the owner, and I've made it bigger for you. So those options on the bottom is you as the owner can do 2 additional things that no one else can do. The first one is prevent editors from changing access and adding new people. So if you want to share something with your collaboration team for your subject, I would turn on that button, because you don't want someone on your team sharing it with a different team. You may want to keep it private, just between you guys. If this is a document between you and a student, you may want to turn that on so that student does not share it with another student. I used to be a little wary of using Google Docs in the case of special education and case carriers, because I didn't feel like there was enough privacy protection, especially when you're dealing with like IEPs and things. But now that we have this button, I'm like, go for it, special ed and conquer. Just turn on that button, because my husband is a special education teacher, and he's like, I don't know. He's like, oh, but with that, I feel better, because now I don't feel like I'm going to violate any laws or any IEPs. The other option you have is you can disable the download, print, and copy for commenters and viewers. So if you want to post something for your students to be able to see, but you don't want them to download it, you don't want them to be able to make a copy of it, you can turn that button on. So when you're dealing with younger students, or if you're dealing with a group of population of kids that can get a little bit rowdy, you may want to turn this on, because I had it happen to me. I had students make a copy of my slides and then change the words in my slides. And I was like, yeah, you think you're cute, but like you did it in a shared folder, so I know what you did. So no, I'm going to call that plagiarism. Thanks, guys. So I was able to put a handle on it and redirect. But just like if you're starting out and you notice that that might be a problem, you can always turn this feature on. Yes.
So I'm listening, and I still don't understand how to just do the very basic of sharing something with students. I'm still not quite catching that. All the advanced stuff is very interesting, but it doesn't make a lot of sense because I don't understand the basics of how do I share.
So it depends on how you want to share it with the student. So let me go back
It's complicated.
here. So if you want to share it with just one student, you'd click on the blue share button and then type in their email address.
Okay, so what if I want to share it with an entire class? I have to type in every kid's email address?
No, that would take way too much time. In that case, I would do the get shareable link and do the anyone at RUSD with the link can view.
Yes.
And I would click on copy that link. And then I would just go to goo.gl and paste the link here and make sure that you're not a robot. Popcorn. Okay. Popcorn. I think that's it. And then I'm going to click shorten the URL. And then I would write this on the board just like I wrote it on the board for you guys today.
What you just did doesn't make sense. I don't understand really what you just did.
Okay.
So can you go back? I'm sorry, I don't want to pick up everybody, but I'm trying to to understand this enough that I can actually do this with kids.
Yeah, no problem. That's why we're here.
So I understand you went to the share button and then you clicked the shareable link and you talked about sharing it with everybody, which scares me to death. You know, I don't want everybody to see it. I just want my kids to see it.
So the thing is, though, is it's only going to be visible if people in the district have the link. So people outside of your classroom can't do a search for your name and find this.
Okay.
So as long as you have it turned on as anyone with the link can view, and that's what it defaults to. So you don't even need to remember that. Like, it's going to do that for you.
Anyone with the link. Okay. So I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then click on the button that says copy link.
Oh, not done.
Oh yeah, not done. Sorry.
Hold on. The drop down. Anyone with the link.
Can view.
Copy link.
Yep. And then up at the top of your screen, there's this little half tab, the little nub. I know it's a little hard. So click on that little nub.
One that says link copied to click there.
Oh, let's see. Let me look. So,
Click on
okay,
that link, copy link.
good. So now you can click done. And then now you can click on that little nubby tab, the half tab. Right up here.
Oh, you mean make a new tab?
Yeah, create a new tab.
Create a new tab.
And then go to GOO. So you can just type it in the box. Oop. Accidentally went to mail.
Google.
Oh, GOO.GL.
GOO.GL.
Correct. And hit enter. And now in this box, you're going to paste the link.
Because we copied it?
Yep.
We copied it.
And then go ahead and click shorten.
Shorten it.
And now you would write that link on the board, and your students would go to that link and have access to this. Just like how today, when you went to sign in, you had a short URL on the board and went there to access the info. That would be the same way you could do this with your students. And there's other more advanced ways to do it, like posting it in Haiku or posting it in Google Classroom. This is the quickest.
There are people
and,
around me that talk about doing that, but I don't know how to do it. So.
But this is like the quickest way to do
Okay.
it. So hopefully that's helpful.
No, that's good.
Awesome.
That's good.
All right, let's see. What do we got? Oh, yes. And I was going to show you how to make sharing changes. So if you're also on this screen and say this is that thing where the kids need to change your access, and actually you can even change your own access, is once you click the blue sharing button and you're here, you click on the names, and then it'll bring up this screen. And to the right, it'll have this, it'll say can edit, and of course, click the little down arrow because that's where Google hides all the stuff. And then you can click which option you want it to be. So that would be how you could change it. So right now he has editing access, and I could click on can view, and then he'd only have viewing access for this specific doc. So check your tabs at the top of your screen for the little bonsai tree, and if you haven't, go ahead and go there for me. I want to make sure you have some time to look. Okay. Yeah. So if you look at, that's how I always know where Haiku is, the little bonsai tree. So on the bonsai tree, or on our Haiku page, on the left-hand side underneath Google Slides, there's a link for elementary application, and then there is also a link for secondary application. And what we've done is we've gone online and done a huge search, and we've also talked to other people on Twitter and gotten some copies of things that they're doing in their class with their students. So you can go ahead and click through these and maybe see if there's any ideas that you are interested in for the last 10 minutes. And then if you have like one-on-one questions, this is the time